Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Stupid Player NegativeAE, and welcome back to another episode of Steins Gate 0. Last we left off, we had just finished the Kagami ending. So now we're back at this point, which is the split for the Kurusu ending. So if I answer this right away, which I will right now, we should switch endings, which is weird to me. The next moment after the phone I pressed against Kagede's head stopped ringing, the world changed. Oh, we didn't get a number this time. Oh, we did not get a number this time. I was inside a deep black darkness. There was no sound. No temperature. Just darkness. Cold and silence. No one was here. I didn't even know if I was asleep or awake. There was nothing but a vague sense of presence. Nothingness. Nothingness spreading out into infinity. Huh. What was I doing? Wasn't I?
ちょっと岡部、いつまでもそんなところで寝てると風邪ひくわよ。
That's Kurusu, alright. I turned towards the voice. Standing there, next to the open curtains of the development room was...
何よ。
なんだ、クリス。
Oh, there you are, Kurusu. That was a very calm answer. Wow, right here. Let me go ahead and save this. I know it quick saved, but just before, I gotta save at the beginning of each one. Just so it's easier to go back. Even though this is the last ending, really. So never mind. I mean, besides the true ending, which we're gonna do after this. What do you mean? There you are. I've been here the whole time.
そうだったか?
Have you?
そうよ。
Yep. Yesterday and the day before. I've been here a long time. It did seem that way to come to think of it. My head seemed like it was full of fuzz. I wasn't sleepy or tired or anything like that. My mind was very awake. But something was missing. Something important.
そういえば。
Hey, where are Daru and Mayuri?
あんた、本当に大丈夫?
Are you really okay? Did something happen to you?
どういう意味だ?
What do you mean?
橋田もまゆりも。ほら。
Hashida and Mayuri are right there. Look.
え?
おかりん。てってれー。
Oh, wow.
僕のこの大きすぎる存在感を見落としてるなんてどうかしてるぜ、オカリン。
It's weird to me, like my mind's a little bit blown because this is the old art, and I like the old Mayuri and Daru a lot. Daru and Mayuri were always here, weren't they? No, it wasn't just them. Oh my goodness. Oh, I feel like I'm playing the first one again. Oh, that's so fucking cool. There's anything I could do to make you feel better, just tell me. There's some Nikako too. And oh my goodness. The old Suzuha. They actually did Moeka quite well in this new game. She doesn't look too different, but she's That's the old Moeka for sure. Oh my goodness. All the lab members were in the lab like they always were. Oh, my mind. That's right. This was my daily life. This was how I spent every day. Yo, what is
全員いるようだ。
What is this? What is this? This is the coolest picture. This is my new background. What the crap? Why are there so many background pictures
ただ
in
いま
this?
より第
What?
65536回目の円卓会議を行う。
We shall now begin the
お前たち、
65,536th round table. Are you ready? Jesus Christ.
まったくいつも暑苦
You're
しい
always
わ
so
ね
loud.
お前こそいい加減そのおすまし
And
フェイスは
you
やめる
need
ん
to
だな
wipe that
上司。
self-satisfied expression right off your face, assistant.
だから私はあんたの
I
助
keep
手にな
telling
った
you,
覚えは
I'm
ない
not
と言
your
っただろ
assistant.
オカリンとクリスちゃんはいつも
Akadine and
仲良し
Kurusu
だ
were
ね
always such good friends.
イチャイチャしやがってリア
You're
充
the
爆
perfect
発しろ
couple. Now go explode.
ちょっと橋田私がいつ
Wait,
こい
Hashida.
つとイチ
I'm
ャ
not in
イ
a
チャしたって言う
relationship
の
with
よ
this guy.
仲がいいほど喧
They
嘩す
say
る
the
って
closer
いう
you
ね
are, the more you fight, yeah.
羨ましいです
I'm jealous.
漆原ルカも一緒にイチャイチャす
You
れば
should
いい
join
じゃ
in
ん
the fun, Urushibara.
ダメです
I couldn't.
僕には
I just
そんなことできません
couldn't.
イチャイチャ
ねえお前たちいつまで無駄話を
Stop
してい
wasting
る。
time, guys. We're starting the meeting.
ね今日の議
So
題は
what are we
何なん
talking
だ
about today?
そんなものは決まっている。
What else?
今日の
Our
議題
topic
は
for today is... What?
議題は
Our topic...
岡部
Something was wrong.
オカリン
Everything seemed the same, but...
どうしたんオカリン
What's wrong, Okani? That's right. It was cold.
今日も
I didn't feel it.
京馬さん
No emotions.
岡部倫太郎
No warmth.
岡部くん
Everyone was here. But it was cold. And dark. Cold.
岡部くん岡部倫太郎
It felt so cold, like it was going... Like the marrow of my bones was going to freeze. Like my bones were made of ice. Like all the blood in my body had been replaced with
オ
mercury.
カリン
It was cold. It felt like I was going to freeze at any moment. What was this?
オカリン
What was this place? Where was I?
岡部
I had to shut my window because there's like sounds outside. There we go. Where was I? What was I doing? This looks a lot like Dr. Leskinen's lab. I tried to speak, but the words didn't come out. It looked like I was lying on a bed. A very hard one at that. I slowly looked around. It wasn't the lab, and it wasn't my room. The room was old and gloomy. Of course, I'd never seen it before. What was I doing doing here? Therapist? This is the therapist room, right? There was a terrible pain in my head. Like someone had jammed an electrode into my brain. Tried to raise my hand as I lay there, but it was too heavy. Felt like all the joints in my body had been frozen. It took all my strength to slowly sit up. Each time that I moved a little, my muscles screamed in pain and ran through my whole body. After several minutes, I finally succeeded in sitting down on the edge of the bed and looking down. I realized I was wearing a white gown, like hospital patients wear. I'm trying to think, and this is just like me trying to figure out why the world line changed. Every time I get contacted, it's the speed at which I answer the phone that is the trigger, not what I say or do with the phone. right? It's been pretty much the same for the past like 2 or 3 endings, where it's like you answer it now or you answer it later. So I don't know what picking up the phone earlier has to do with it. Maybe they transmitted a signal first, and because I answered it early, it was like, oh, there it is. But since I answered it late the first time, that's why the Kagadi ending came. Some kind of equipment on my head, and the cables were coming out of it were connected to a strange machine. So then what on the other end could require me... Right, like, I don't know. Just a moment ago, I'm trying to figure out what caused the worldline change. That's right, Kagadi. Kurisu's memories had been downloaded into Kagadi's head. We tried to erase them by overriding them with Kagadi's own memories. And then... That's right. I remembered now. The worldline had shifted right after that. What had happened then? I kind of thought it was Steins Gate because it was like, it stopped. It didn't give me a number, so I don't know what worldline I'm in. Like, because you could tell before, now you can't tell. We don't know if Mayor's dead or alive, or Kurisu's dead or alive. I tried to remember what it was like. My mind was filled with fog. For now, I needed to figure out where I was. I took off the headgear and got out of bed. And collapsed. This didn't make sense. Was I just dizzy after all that was going on in my head? I tried to stand up again. And I couldn't get any strength in my legs. I kept standing up and falling over, and in the end I was only able to get up by grabbing the side of the bed. How could standing on my own 2 feet be so exhausting? Was I sick with some terrible disease? And then maybe I'd been in bed for several days? This doesn't look like a hospital. I somehow managed to drag my weak legs to the door. It was bizarrely heavy. Maybe it just seemed that way to me. It only opened after I put my full weight on it. The door was locked, but it seemed to be the kind that could be opened from the inside. I walked down the dark hallway, leaning up against the wall for support. At the end of the hall were stairs. I clung to the railing and slowly walked up them. At the end of these stairs, I found a hatch. Using the full strength of my back, I was just barely able to get it open. I was inside an old building. I walked down the crumbling hallway, still clueless as to what was going on, and finally found the door to the outside. Exhausted, I staggered outside, and I saw... It's at the radio building. Mountains of shattered rubble. Rows of destroyed and abandoned buildings. Exposed, twisted steel gritters. I don't know what the fuck that... At first I thought it was a movie set, but it was far too realistic for that. The walls, the windows, the ceilings, everything was destroyed. Little bits of rubble covered the ground. Is that a time machine too, I wonder? There were cracks in the asphalt on the road, making it impossible to walk straight. And it wasn't just directly in front of me. I spun around a full 360 degrees and saw the same scene everywhere. I smelled oil. I smelled something burning. I looked up to the sky. It was dark and gloomy. I thought it might just be cloudy, but something else seemed to be going on. I could see the hazy outline of the sun beyond the black curtain that covered the sky. A violent pain in my throat made me cough. I quickly covered my mouth with the sleeve of my gown. My eyes stung. I tried once more to calm down and see if I could remember what happened, but I had no luck. All I knew for sure was that there had been a world line shift when I defeated Kudasu's memories from within inside Kagari. The memories held by the Amadeus Kudasu, and the memories implanted in Kagari. Maybe whoever changed them, that is, whoever held Kudasu's time machine theory, the world line changed with it. That's not true, because I did it in another world line. And then this was another altered world line, which meant what I was seeing was... I saw what looked like an ash-covered stick pointing out of the ground in the corner of my eye. I slowly went to take a closer look. It was sticking out of the rubble, and then at the tip it split into 5 smaller branches. It was a hand. A human hand that had been scorched pitch black. A terrible feeling came rising out of my stomach. Suddenly I thought I saw something move. Someone was there. Where? I listened carefully to try and pick them out. The other side of that big building. I could hear some kind of sound over there. Was someone there? If there was, maybe they could tell me what the hell was going on. Trying my best not to make any sound, I peeked through the walls of the crumbling building. They were there, all right. There were people there. Lots of them. But they weren't people anymore. They were just human-shaped wads of meat, piled up into a mountain. And on top of that mountain was a pack of dogs. Something long and slick was hanging out of the dogs' mouths. Intestines. They were eating them. They were eating the bodies. The stench was horrible. The sound of flies was overwhelming. It was like something out of hell. My gaze met the vacant eyes of one of the bodies. One of its eyes fell out, and the black insects crawled out of the empty sock. I ran away. I ran as fast as I could, stumbling forward on failing legs. Somewhere. Was there someone or somewhere around here that was sane? No matter how far I went, it was the same thing. Mountains of rubble. Rows of abandoned buildings. All I could see were the dead. There were no living humans. I bet you that headset I was wearing was like me trying to go back in time, and I like jumped right before I went back in time. And then I found it. There were rows of huge buildings, which all looked like if they were about to fall over. The roads were full of cracks. There was a warped overpass sticking out of the ground. Rows of iron and railroad ties. I knew it. I knew this place. It was only a shadow of its former self, but I knew it. This was Akibara, which meant... What happened to the lab? Where was Maori? Where was Daru? Where was Ferris? Oh... I put myself in a dream state or some shit because like the world ended and there was nothing left. Oh, that's probably what happened. That's why when I jumped back, I was like, "Whoa, I'm freaking Kyoma again." But I'm not actually. It was just like a illusion because everybody is dead and I'm the only one left. And allowed to find out. I heard footsteps behind me. Rough footsteps, stopping over the rubble. More than one set. I saw them coming towards me from between the crumbling buildings. There were 3 of them. They each had assault rifles in their hands. You! What are you doing here? When they all saw me, they all pointed their guns at me. There was so much I wanted to ask them. There were things I wanted to know. The only thought that came to me was that I needed to get away. But even as I tried to turn and run, my body refused to listen. Don't move! They must have sensed that I was about to flee because one of them yelled. Holes appeared in the concrete at my feet. They'd shot at me. They really shot at me. They'd shot at me with real guns. If I'd just been a little closer, they'd have hit me. I was too scared to stand. The men got closer, still holding the guns. Run. You have to run. But it was like my body belonged to someone else. It wasn't listening to me. The men kept getting closer. And then there was another sharp noise. One of the men collapsed to the side. He hit his head on the rubble and stopped moving. The other 2 men waved their guns around, clearly confused as to what just happened. You're in the way. Something dragged me to the ground. Then more gunshots. The 2 of them fell backward, still holding their weapons, at almost the exact same time. They died. Right in front of me. Someone had died. I could do nothing more than sit and watch as the silhouette moved in front of me. Suza. Calling it from the voice actor. Person I saw was... Hey, yo. This is, isn't this the Suzuha that came back from the first? And this Suzuha has yellow eyes. That's something I never really noticed. Did the other Suzuha have yellow eyes? But this is from the first game. Come on. How long are you just gonna sit there? Did you kill them? What kind of stupid question is that? Yeah. I almost answered it for her because that's what I would do. It was a colder voice than I'd ever heard. Her iron mask of an expression suddenly changed to surprise. But that was only for a moment. A second later, the fierceness had returned. Who are you? Did she really not? You don't know who I am. Did the world line change mean that Suzuha and I had never met? It's me, Okabe. Rintaro Okabe. The expression on her face changed again.
Okabe? Rintaro?
That's impossible. What is happening? 2 pairs of icy footsteps sounded in the darkness. This way. After I'd given my name, Suzuha stared at me suspiciously for a moment. Then she made some kind of call and told me to come with her. She made me wear a blindfold almost the entire time, though. So I had no idea which way I'd gone or where I was. Stop. I did as she said. When I heard the knock, I finally realized we were in front of a door. Moi moi for you. Come in. Evidently that was the password. I could only think of one man who would choose such a stupid password. I heard the sound of a heavily locked door opening, and at last I saw a dimly lit room in the darkness. The room was piled high with what looked like mechanical junk. Rows of instruments lined the walls. A man was sitting in front of them, looking straight at me.
よかった。やっと目を覚ましたんだな、オカリン。
I'm so glad you're finally awake, Okarin. Who was this guy? How did he know my name? He must have been in his mid-40s. He was big, broad-shouldered man with a stubbly face. There was a sharp but gentle light in his eyes. I felt like I'd seen him somewhere before. Who are you?
やだな。僕のこと忘れたん？
Hey.
そりゃ
Did
い
you
くら
forget
なんで
about
も
me?
冷たいぜ。
Even after all that's happened, that still hurts, Okarin. The way he talked. And that hat should be like a clear giveaway. No one wears that hat. There's only one person it could be. But that was...
まさか。
Are you
ダル
Daru?
か。
Your neck is huge, Daru. Your neck is gigantic. The man's face broke into a broad
よ
smile.
かった。覚えててくれ
Good.
て。
You did remember. I
てっきり
thought you'd
忘れられたの
forgotten. Daru, is that really you?
ダルこんなナイスガイ。僕以外にい
Who
るわ
else
け
do you
ない
know
じゃん。
that's as handsome as me?
鈴
Right,
鹿
Suzuha?
せめてもうちょっと痩せてくれれば
I might admit that if you lost a little weight.
そう言うなって。
Don't say
それで
that.
も若い頃に
I've lost a
比べれば
lot since I was younger.
随分と痩せたんだぜ。
Indeed, the Daru in front of me was quite a bit slimmer than the Daru I knew.
というか父さん
And
少し
wait,
言葉
Dad,
遣いお
why
か
are
し
you
くない
talking funny?
僕も久々にこういう話し方したよ。でも
I don't usually
オカリ
talk
ンは
like
この
this,
方
but
が
I figured
話し
it
や
would
すい
make
だろう
things
と
easier
思
for
ってさ。
Okarin. The more pressing issue, though, was his age. He was clearly a middle-aged man. The youngest I could possibly imagine him to be was like his early 40s. And then I saw a shelf in the corner. I saw a man that I didn't know reflected in its glass. There's another man like him in his 40s. He was staring at me with a gloomy, sulking face. I slowly raised my right hand, and the man raised his left as if copying me.
ダル、
Daru,
一つ
tell me something.
何でもどうぞ。
Anything you want, man.
今は
What year is it? Daru's smile quickly became something more serious as he answered me.
2036年。世界は戦乱の真っ只中だ。
It's the year 2036. The world is at war. And you just left me like unguarded in this fucking shit? I was like in a concrete room that anybody could have opened. Daru gave me all the
そ
details.
れじゃあ
Then this is
本当に
the year
今は
2036.
そういうこと。
That's right. It seemed unbelievable. But Daru's appearance, and more than anything my own, made it undeniable. 2036. Souza had said that World War III would start sometime in the next 10 years. 5.7 billion people would die, and the population of Tokyo would drop to a tenth of what it once was. After that, the Third World War itself would end, but the chaos would continue. And even in Japan, no, everywhere around the world, battles would continue. Was that what I'd just seen?
だが、どうして俺はそのことを
Why don't I
何も
remember
覚え
any
てい
of
ないん
this?
だ。
All of my memories were of 2011. I had no memories of the past 25 years. My last memory was erasing Kurusu's memories from Kagete's head.
それに俺は
Suzu had
2025
told me I
年に
would
死
die
ぬ
in
と
2025.
鈴葉から聞か
Why
され
am
て
I still alive?
それは私も聞きたい父さん
I want to know that too, Dad. Suzu chimed in.
私たちはみんなオカリ
We
ン
were
お
all
じさん
told
が
Uncle
10年
Okarin
前
died
に死ん
10
だって
years
聞
ago.
かされてきたんだ
Suzu leaned over him.
父さんこれはどうい
What's
うこ
going on
と
here, Dad?
もしかして
Did you lie to all of
私
us?
たち
落ち着け鈴葉。ちゃんと説明するから。
I'll explain. Daru then looked at me as if he was remembering old times and then resumed his
オ
explanation.
カリンは2011年の1
You
月
said you've
半ば
only
ま
got
での
memories
記
up to
憶しかない
halfway
って
through
ことで
January
オケ。
2011, right?
あ
Yeah.
あ、2011
The world line
年
changed in
1
January
月に世界線
2011.
が変動
That's
し
all I
た。
remember.
それ以降のこ
I'd
とは
gotten
覚えていな
25 years
い。
older without realizing it. That fact was starting to eat away at me.
やっぱ体の方に少し問題があるのか。
Maybe there's some
そ
problem
れ
with
と
your
も混
body.
乱してるの
Or
か。
maybe you're just
今
confused.
のオカリンの頭の中には
You should have had
2011年
memories
の
up to
1
the end of
月末までの記憶
January
がなきゃい
2011.
けないんだけど、
松どうして
end.
1月末な
Why
の
the end of the month?
マホタンがオカリンの記憶をデータとして保存したのが
It was the
2011
end
年
of the
1
month
月末
when
のことだから
Mahotan
さ。
saved your memory data. Yeah, just saved my memories.
アマデウスの研究の役に立ちたいから
I guess
記憶サンプルを
Mahotan
取ってくれって
told.
オカリンから
I guess you
マホ
told
タンに頼んだらし
Mahotan
い
to
じゃん。
take memory samples from you to help me with the Amadeus research, right?
俺がアマ
I
デウスの
volunteered for Amadeus. And then I realized something incredible,
ということは
which means that inside my brain,
そう、お察しの通り、今のオカリンの
yeah,
脳内にあ
just
る
like
記
you
憶は
guessed, your
そ
memories
の
are the
時
ones
の
that were digitized in
2011
2011.
年にデータ化された記憶なんだ。
Digitized memories inside my head.
ちょっと待って父さん。
Wait, Dad, I
話が
don't
全く見え
understand
な
what's
い。
going on.
そもそも
How was Uncle
ど
Okadin
うしてお
alive
かり
anyway?
おじさんは2025年に
You
死ん
told
だっ
me
て
he
言って
died
た
in
だろ。
2025, right?
死んだよ。事実上は
He
ね。
did. For all intensive purposes, anyway.
事実上
For all intents and purposes.
タイムマシン開発競争はその頃がピークだ
That
った
was
ん
when
だ。
the race to make the time machine was at its peak.
各国のいろんな機関がマキ
Everybody
セ・
in
ク
the
リス
world
が
wanted
残
the
した論
paper
文
that
と
Kudesu
彼
Makase
女
had
の記憶を
written
欲
and her
して
memories.
でもその時点でマキ
But
セ・
at
ク
the
リスの
time,
遺産
Strat
は
4 had
全部
everything she left
ストラ
behind.
ト4の手に割っただ。連中をもってして
But
も
even if they had
論
it,
文の中
they
身を
couldn't read
確か
it.
めることはど
They
う
couldn't
しても
break
で
the
きな
lock,
か
you see.
ちなみにそのロックを開発したのは
By the way,
2010年
I
の
was the one who built that lock in 2010.
そこでストラト4はマキセ・クリスを
So
よ
they
く知る
decided
人
to
物
capture
を
someone
捕
who
ま
knew
え
her
て
well
情
and
報
get
を
the
聞き
information
出す
from them.
それが
And that was me.
連中はオカリンの記憶から
They
マ
did
キセ・クリ
everything
ス
they
につい
could
て
to
の情
try
報
and
を
get
取り
you
出すために
information out of
あらゆる
Kudesu
手を使った
Makase
ら
out of you.
僕たちが助け出した時には
When we
オ
rescued
カ
you,
リ
your
ンの
mind
精
was
神は
shattered.
ボロボ
You
ロだっ
lost the
た
ability to ever survive on your
回
own.
復する見込みのない
You were as good as
死んだ
dead.
のとほぼ
There was
変わ
no
らない
chance
状
you'd
態
get
だ
better.
ったんだ。
それじゃあ
Then
肉
his
体は
body
生き
was
ていた
alive.
そういうこと。
That's right.
これはオカリン自
Ocarin
身
had
の
given
入れ
me
知
the
恵でもあ
idea.
った。オ
He
カリ
was
ンは
starting to get worried
自分
about
が
how they
狙
were
われ
after
て
him.
でもせめて私にくらい
But
は
you
教え
could
て
have
く
at
れ
least
ても
told
よ
me,
かった
right?
敵を騙すにはまず
You know
味
what they
方
say,
から
right?
って言うだろ。
To deceive your foes, first deceive your friends.
そんな
But Suza seemed a little depressed. It must have come out to a shock to her that her dad didn't trust
そ
her.
んな顔するな鈴葉。
Don't
こ
be
の
like
こと
that,
を知ってた
Suza.
のは
Only
ワ
very
ルキュ
few
ーレの
people
中で
in
も
Valkyrie knew
ご
about
く
this.
限られた一部の人間だけだ。
I knew the name Valkyrie. Suza talked a lot about it in 2010. It was the name of the Daru and Suzuha's resistance organization.
話を続けよう。オカリンは心を破壊され
Okarin's
た
mind
せい
was
で
shattered, and he was
生きるため
incapable
の
of
能力
surviving.
を失っ
If
て
we
い
didn't
た。
do something, even his body
放
would
ってお
have
い
died.
た。そこで事実を知る
So a few
一部
people
の
who
人
knew the
間の
truth
手
have
に
been
よって
watching
こ
over him for
こ
years
と
in
は
another
別の施
facility.
設でずっと面倒を見てきたんだ。
2025 to 2036. 11 years without letting anyone find out. You need nutrients to keep your body alive. And since I was in bed the whole time, my joints would have gotten stiff, and the friction against the bed would have caused my skin to split open. Someone had watched over me the whole time to keep that from happening.
もしかして
Was
マユ
it
リが
Mayuri?
マユシだけじゃない。
Not
ヘイリ
just
スタン
Mayushi.
やルカシ、
Theristan,
それにマホ
Lukashi,
タンもだ。
and Mahotan too. They were alive. Maori, Theris, Lukaku. Even in this terrifying world, they were still alive and still looking after me. They had been for years.
なあダル
Hey, Dar,
どうして俺は今になって
Why
目を
did I
覚
wake
ま
up
したんだろうか
my memories had been digitized in 2011. If they'd known these memories existed, they could have downloaded them to me a lot earlier, right?
それは単純な話さ。
That's easy to
オカリン
explain.
の記憶データは
Until just a little
つい
while
最
ago, we
近
didn't
ま
know
でどこ
where
に
they
あっつう
were.
かオカリンとマキセ・クリスの
Actually,
記憶データ
Stratfor had been
はスト
holding
ラ
on
ト
to
4を
your
ずっ
and
と保管
Kudusi's
してたんだ
memories
け
the
ど
entire time.
その保管場所がずっとわか
We
ら
just
なか
didn't
っ
know where it
た
was.
見つけたのは半月
We
前
found it 2 weeks ago.
どこにあったと思う
Wanna guess where it was? That'll
驚く
shock
ぜ
you.
どこだ
Where?
東大元暮らし
Right next to us the whole
大
time.
学だよ
It was at our
僕たちの
college.
まさか
No
東
way.
京電機大学か
Tokuyo Denki.
その地下に連中の支部
They
が
had
あ
a
った
base in
ん
the
だよ
basement.
つっても
Not that there's
今は
much of
ほと
anything
んど
left
廃
there
墟にな
now.
ってるけどな
Stratfor had a base in the basement of Tokyo
で
Denki?
半月前にオカリンの記憶デー
So
タを
2 weeks
サルベ
ago,
ージ
we
した
managed
僕
to
たちは
salvage your memory
早
data
速
and
脳
download it
に
into your
デ
brain.
ータをダウンロードした
But for the next 10 days, I hadn't woken up. And just as they were about to give up, I'd finally awoken. After 25 years. 25 years. I stared at my hands. They were so thin I could almost see the bone, and I could see veins popping out of them. The face reflected in the grass looked unhealthy and wrinkled. My hair was starting to turn white too.
起きたら25年後だったなんて
So I woke up after 25 years,
とんだ浦島太郎
and
だ
I'm
な
just like Urushimara Taro.
気持ちの整理がつかないのも無理ないさ
I can understand that it'll take you a while to process it. Of course, it was a shock. But the most shocking thing was
この記憶は
these
一度
memories
デー
were
タになっ
once
たもの
data,
だ
huh?
な
My memories since I was a kid. This is weird. This is like a coin flip, right? Like I could have continued my life, but this is the flip where I'm now this person. Oh, that's so weird to me. My memories of that summer. It reminds me of like a horror game that I played a while back. I don't remember what it was called. My memories with Kurusu. All of them had been transformed into zeros and ones. Could you say that I was a person? Could I still be called human?
でもそれを言うならマキセ氏の
But
タ
it
イ
was
ム
the
リー
same
プ
as
マシン技術だって同じじゃん
Makishi's time loop technology, right?
オカリンはあれ何度
You
も
went
経
through
験
that
し
a
たは
bunch
ず
of
っし
times,
ょ
didn't you? He was right. But even if I knew it in my head, it still felt strange. Been cut off from 25 years of time. It had all been forgotten and left behind in a digital world. It felt like it had been stolen from me.
私はやっぱり納得いかない。
I still can't accept this.
そう言うなって鈴葉
Oh, don't say that,
父
Susan.
さんはいい。
You're
そうやっ
lucky,
て
Dad. You
世界
managed
中
to
を
deceive
騙
the
してい
whole
たん
world
だか
that
ら
way.
だから仕方なかったんだってば
Deceived, huh? I'd been deceived too. I'd been told I was fated to die in 2025. And that even in the beta world line that wouldn't change. But no matter how it happened, I was alive right now. Even in the past, I'd been deceived by the future. And it wasn't just me. Shizuha and everyone else. The whole world had been deceived.
世界が
The world has
騙される
deceived, or was deceived. And then there was a knock on the outside of the door. It was a visitor, it seemed. Shizuha got close to the door.
君に萌え萌え。
After hearing the world's most ridiculous password, Shizuha unlocked the door. It opened and a young girl came in.
太郎おじちゃん、鈴葉お姉ちゃん、トゥットゥルー。
Oh shit!
かが
What were you
り、
doing outside?
ここには用がある時以外は来るなと言ってるだろう。
Kagiri, I told you not to come here unless you had a reason. Kagiri. This child was a young Kagiri?
ごめんなさい。でも
Sorry, but
ママたちみんな
Mommy
出
and
かけて
everybody else
帰って
left and they
こない
haven't come
の。
back.
まあまあ そう目くじら立てること
No,
もない
no,
だろ
don't
う。
get so mad.
また父さんがそうやって
You're
甘やかす
spoiling her again, Dad. You
こう
need
い
to
う
be
ことは
strict
き
at
ちん
times
と
like
しておか
this.
なきゃダメなんだ。
The way they had interacted hadn't changed in 25 years. I ignored them and looked at Kaguri. She seemed to notice me too.
こんにちは。
Hello.
こんにちは。
お
Hello.
じさんは誰？
Who are you, mister?
俺か。
Me? I'm...
そうだな。
I'm...
君のママの
I know.
友達だ。
I'm a friend of your mother's. I hesitated for a moment, but decided not to give her my name.
マユリママの？
A friend of Mommy Mayori's.
ああ、そうだ。
That's right.
へえ。
ママは優しいか？
Is your mommy nice?
ママのこと。
Do you like her?
大好き。
Yep, I love
そう
her.
か。
I see. I could see the love she felt for her mother radiating from her face. Mayori must have raised her with a lot of love, too. She must have been raised with everything Mayori could give her. But after this, she was going to the past. She would be all alone in the past, separated from her beloved Mayori. And then they would catch her and use her as a test subject.
そういえば父さん、
Hey, Dad.
マユ姉さんには伝
Did
え
you
た
tell
の
Big
か？
Sis Mayu that Uncle was
あ、
up?
いかん。すっかり忘れて
Oh
た。
no, I forgot.
早く教え
I
てや
need
ら
to
んと
do。that. You took out what looked like a small wireless radio.
こちら、バレルタイター。応答せよ。こちら、バレルタイター。
Barrel
こ
Titor.
ちら、
Let's
スターダス
go.
トシェイクハンドです。どうぞ。
Shit. Stardust handshake. Freaking first Steins Gate, man. The callbacks. The voice I heard from the speaker was definitely Mayori's. Felt a lot calmer than what I'd used to, but it was definitely Mayori. Wait. What was Stardust handshake? It was what I called her back in the first one, right?
ああ、マガリちゃん。誰おじさんのところにいるの？
Oh, I like the... I don't know why. Like, I like the static that they added to the voice to, like, emulate a wireless radio. Although you would think that in 2036 they would come up with, like, a better form of communication.
おじさんは大事なお仕事がある
He's
から。
busy with something important, so don't bug him too much, okay?
はーい。
Either that or they're using him because, like, they're monitoring all the future forms of technology, so, like, two-way radios are the only thing.
そんなことよりマユシ、スペシャル
Anyway,
なニュースだ。
Mayushi, we got special news for you.
スペシャルなニュース？
ああ、心して聞いてくれ。
You ready for this?
オカリン
Okarin's
が
awake. Really?
本当に？
Okarin's really?
どうしたの？マユシ。
What's wrong, Mayushi?
オカリンが。オカリンが。
もしかして岡部さん
Did Okarin wake up?
本当？オカリン。
Really? Okarin's awake, yeah? I heard one voice after another coming from the radio. The voices didn't seem to have changed all that much.
そういうわ
Oh no! We have to go back to the backlog. Well, I can see why. She wanted Okarin back more than anyone else.
とにかくみんな早く戻った方
Anyway,
がい
you
い。
should get back here as soon as possible.
わかった。食料受け取ったら
Got it.
すぐに戻る
We'll
よ。
come back as soon as we get provisions. Everyone else was overjoyed, but I saw that Suza's expression was
ど
clouded.
うした鈴葉。
What's wrong, Suza?
なんでマユ姉さんたち
Why are you guys
食
going
料
out to
調
get
達に
food?
出ている？
That wasn't planned for today.
そんなはずない。確かに今日
Sure it was. We got a message last night that it was today.
まずい。それは罠だ。みんな
No,
すぐに戻
it's
っ
a
て。
trap. Everyone, get back here now. That was a change of events.
どうした？何があった？
襲撃です敵襲だ
We're under attack. The enemy. Damn it.
ライブちゃんビリーさん逃げてここ僕
でもそんなことしたらルカニャンが
Is she still speaking in cat? What the fuck? But if we do that, you would think like after the world ended, she would be like, alright, well, we need to fucking... No, Luca.
父さん
Right. Suza started running and Dara followed after.
待ってくれダル俺も行く
でもオカリその体じゃ
But opening in your condition.
せてくれ
Let me go, please. He hesitated for a moment, but then quickly nodded and offered me his shoulder. It was a little thinner than when he was young, but his shoulder was still gigantic. I put my weight on it as we followed Susanna. When we finally got there, I saw several silhouettes. I'd been mentally preparing myself for a fierce battle, but the whole place was dead quiet. There were several men dressed like soldiers lying out on the ground nearby. In front of them was Suzuha. Kneeling next to her were two women, and at their feet,
ルカ子
I could tell at a glance. The person lying there was Sukako.
おかり
The two women looked up at me.
おかりルカニャンが
I'm kind of curious to see what they look like. I know this is a sad moment because Sukaku's just dead. Mary and Ferris both seem beaten down by the passage of time. His features had grown more gallant, but his face was still soft and feminine. Lukako looked at me with hazy eyes. I don't look that much, I don't look that much older.
ルカ子
本当に
That's supposed to be future me? I don't know about that.
何ですか
ルカ子俺だ
そ
Oh,
の
I
呼び
gotta
方
end this, dude. You called me
本
Lukaku.
物の
It really is you. A single trail of blood dripped from Lukaku's mouth. His outfit was stained with blood, and over his right breast, over his right breast, and the blood dripped on the ground. Jesus. I knew immediately that the wound was fatal.
よかった
I'm glad what I just heard was true.
お前
Thanks
た
to
ちの
you,
お
I
かげ
was
で
able to wake up.
こうして目覚めることができたありがとう
Lukaku's hand reached up towards the sky as if he was looking for something. Maybe he couldn't even see me anymore? When I grabbed his hand, it was very cold.
岡部
どうした
What is it?
僕や
I
りま
did
した
it. Yeah.
今日まさね
Thanks to the Zenshin Zama school you taught me,
戦
I was
士
able to
魔
protect
流の
Maori
心への
and everyone else.
僕
I'm one
仲
of
間
you
に
guys now. Right?
なれば皆さんの
I'm really one of you now, aren't
バカ
I? Idiot.
お前
You
は
were
最
always
初
one
か
of
ら
us.
ずっと俺たちの仲間だ
Kaka reached out a cold hand and touched my cheek, and smiled a dazzling smile.
嬉
That
しい
makes me happy. That was all he said. And then the touch on my cheek disappeared.
ルカ子ルカ子
ルカ
The cold hand fell to the rubble-covered ground. It never moved again.
なんて
How could this happen?
ルカ君は
I'm glad.
オカリンとずっと会いたがっていたから
Kako always wanted to see Okarin.
最後に会え
I'm
たの
glad he
は
got to see him in the end.
本当によかった
Glad? She was glad? After this? Mayori's words made me realize how hellish the last 25 years I'd slept through must have been.
漆原ルカあなたは
You fought
とて
splendidly.
も立派に戦いま
You
した
saved us. Please rest in peace.
私たち
This is just... It's not fair. We'll probably get out of the open. Probably go back into the lab.
まゆしは
Where's Mayushi?
泣き疲れて眠ったよ
She cried herself out and went to sleep.
無理もないよな
I
ま
can
ゆしは
understand
ルカ
that.
氏とずっ
She
と
and
仲良
Lukashi
か
were
った
good
から
friends.
ルカ兄さん
Brother Luca. Lukaku was dead. He died protecting Mayori and Ferris. In my mind, his death overlapped with Mayori's. Mayori's hands got colder, and so did Lukaku's. It was the same no matter where I went. Mayori, Lukaku, and Kurisu. Everyone dies.
あの戦争をきっかけに
A lot of people died after that war started.
小学校の友達も
All our friends
中
from
学
elementary
高校の
school,
友達も
all our friends from middle
大
and high
学の友
school,
達も
all our friends from college,
親戚も先生
our
も知り合
relatives,
い
our
も
teachers,
大
people
人
we
も
knew,
子供
kids,
も
adults,
それから
even the people we loved.
たくさんの
So
本
many
当に
people.
たくさんの人間
So
が
many people
死んだ
died.
んだ
I knew this was coming. At least I thought I knew. If I didn't reach Steins Gate, if I stayed in the Beta world line, the world would eventually burn. I heard it 1,000 times. I thought I knew what the future would be like. But in the end, it was just a story about the distant future. It didn't feel real at all. I could only imagine it. All I had were vague, unrealistic ideas. All the thousands of nightmares I'd experienced. I thought nothing could be worse than that. But when I saw it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears, and felt it with my own skin, I realized that everything I thought was wrong. Piles of bodies. Wild dogs devouring human corpses. Dead soldiers. The smell of burning flesh. The smell of rotting organs. The warmth of Lukaku's blood in my hands. The warmth of Mayori's blood. The warmth of Kurisu's blood. I thought that if nothing else, I'd managed to save Mayori. I'd let Kurisu die and turned my eyes away from reality and told myself that at least I'd save Mayori from the others. And the others. But in the end, I hadn't saved anyone. Even if I had, I'd only saved myself. I was the only person I'd managed to save. No one else. Not Kurisu, not Mayori, not Kagari, not Lukaku. I hadn't saved anyone.
クリスをアマデウスの呪縛から
Release
解放して
Kurisu
やっ
from
て
the
くれ
bonds of Amadeus. And at that, I'm gonna end it right here. It's been 54 minutes. If I go any longer, it's gonna be an hour. I don't want that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Jesus. I can't even think, like... So, like, is this the me Is this the me that like tells the past me? Are we gonna loop it back to the beginning? And then this isn't even the true ending. This is the Kurisu ending, technically, which is insane. Like, if I would have gotten here by myself, you know, like, flipping out I would have been? I would have been flipping out. I would have been absolutely... I gotta end the episode. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode, whatever it may be. And peace out, you guys.